Buddy Holly. Oh, and you're Mary Tyler. Oh, hey, Mary Tyler. Welcome to the channel. I'm Chris Norwood on a journey to hear every song ever recorded. I'm a huge Weezer nerd, Green Day nerd, Offspring extraordinaire. And if that sounds like something that interests you, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. You guys all subscribed? All 427 of you that are going to watch this video? This is a very early album review of the Van Weezer. The Van Weezer, the oft-delayed, often scoffed, the oft-scoffed, osh-gosh-be-goshed. Van Weezer. It's been in the works for so long. And now it's here. Completely leaked, and I do not suggest trying to find a leak for it, not because of the quality of the album. We'll get to that throughout my review. But I totally downloaded about 20 different Trojan viruses onto my laptop. So I wouldn't recommend any of those links on Google. The Google searches. Do not download any of the Van Weezer leaks. Not that you would. You wouldn't steal a car. You wouldn't steal Van Weezer, right? Now, I would, and I did, but I am going to get a physical copy, very likely on CD and vinyl. That's not a spoiler because I buy albums that I don't like all the time. So let's get into the album review, shall we? Like I said, we've been waiting on Van Weezer for a while. The album kicks off with one that we're familiar with in Hero, and I absolutely love it. It's very, very poppy, very, very Weezer-esque, and we're going to be doing a little bit of a check on each song as we go through the track listings. There's 10 tracks, just like most Weezer records, except a few exceptions in their discography. So, coming off the heels of OK Human, a lot of us fans just did not know where Weezer could go after that. It was just such a great album that just was really bold and yet just really nailed it, knocked it out of the park. And I started to get a little bit nervous about this one because I realized early on that even though Weezer kept saying this was going to be a Van Halen, Ozzy Osbourne, very heavy metal and Kiss, I thought, when I heard that, I thought, they're kind of pulling our legs. This is going to sound like Weezer. And yeah, sorry, I didn't want to waste my breath here. So I anticipated that this album was going to be very much a standard Weezer album. Not a bad thing, but I thought perhaps it would sound like, it wouldn't sound like Black Album or Pacific Daydream, which I was okay with. I was like, okay, they're going to not do those kind of sounds anymore. They're going to go back to maybe traditional Weezer sounds that people, love and hate all over the world at the same time. And Hero, it was hard to tell. When I first heard Hero, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It's it's a really strong single in my opinion. I shared it on Facebook to no reply, no likes. Nobody checked it out. My friends are lame. But I loved Hero, so the album kicks things off with Hero, which we've heard. The second track, we get a new song, brand new, All the Good Ones. And this one, it sounds like Beverly Hills. When it first starts, you're thinking, okay, they've reworked Beverly Hills into some other form. I'm hearing a little bit of Oliver Tree influence. That could be a thing. I could see Weezer digging Oliver Tree. It's the exact same guitar riff from Beverly Hills, which was the sort of inspiration for Van Weezer. You know, that's the song in concert where Rivers noticed that people were losing their minds when he would do a kind of a freestyle, just kind of going nuts on the guitar. And so, All the Good Ones kind of takes a little bit of a bizarre turn. Like I said, Oliver Tree sounds. And here's the really cool thing, which this is something that the band have been saying, which, you know, sometimes Weezer aren't always correct in their descriptions of their music. All the Good Ones, getting some Blue Album vibes. Need I say more? All the Good Ones sounds like a Blue and Red Album combination, Make Believe and Blue Album combined, and that's just wow. So Hero and All the Good Ones were really, really strong early tracks. Then we get the End of the Game, which was released as a music video early on, right? And it's got a very majestic guitar tone, and it's one of the most Van Halen-ish of the earlier tracks in the front of this album. I'm a huge fan of this one. I am worrying at this point in my listening experience that maybe this album won't have as much variety as other Weezer albums have had, but you know, maybe that's where people, the closed-minded Weezer fans, get sort of upset with the experimentation in the sonic variety. And All the Good Ones, you know, all the Good Ones had a little bit of a different flair, and End of the Game does too. So this is kind of like the prerequisite love song, like the fictional love songs that Rivers loves to delve into, and it's pretty epic. It's a sing-along jam, and I love it. Absolutely love it. So have Weezer kept their word so far? Yes. If you listen to Hero, you listen to All the Good Ones, End of the Game, they all feature a lot of really crisp, really clear guitar work. So they've held up the guitar end of the bargain so far. Now we're getting into one that we have heard just recently. I Need Some of That. This is the fluffiest thing one of the fluffiest things I've ever heard from Weezer. I need some of that. You know, Hero and this song are just absolutely pop gems. And I like it. The sugary goodness is front and center, but you know what? The shredding is still in there. If you really listen hard on some headphones, and maybe with a better leak than I got, don't get a leak. Go out and buy the CD. Go out and buy the vinyl. Go out and buy the cassette if you want to. I'm not saying this album's good just yet, or if it's good at all. We're going through the tracks. So please stick around to the end. I'll give it a very interesting Weezer-themed rating at the end for you guys. That's going to be a special treat here on the channel, so go ahead and subscribe. Okay, so the album is started beautifully. So here's the weird thing that happens to me on the guitar solo on I Need Some of That. And I actually got online and I was looking around. This album is making me want to buy, and you see my guitars back here. I've got another one. I've got another nicer guitar, an Ibanez. This album makes me want to run out and buy a Flying V. It just does. Holy crap. I'm going to. I'm probably going to buy a Flying V because of Weezer. So, next up is, what do we got here? Beginning of the End is Rock and Roll Majesty. Again, every instrumental is just shining here on this album. Rivers' vocal work is a little bit all over the place, but it's in a good way, if that makes any sense. And the beginning of the end, even though it's one we've heard before, it was one of the best headphone listening experiences I've had in a very, very long time. And I've been putting my One Audio headphones to the challenge. I've been playing all kinds of stuff. And beginning of the end, just a rockin' tune. So put on some cans and crank that one up. You guys doing good so far? We are on another new song. Brand new song. Nobody's heard it but me and some people over on Green Day Authority. Maybe some other nerds that are out there. But I'd like to think that I'm one of the first people that heard this leak. And Blue Dream. Blue Dream. 2 words. Crazy train. I'm going off the rail on a crazy train. Yeah, at first it was so, it's so in your face and it's so obvious because every human being on the planet knows what Crazy Train sounds like. And this is the music of Crazy Train. Imagine a Rivers Cuomo fronted Black Sabbath. And let me know how you enjoy that. This is really strange, right? Well, Weezer actually stick to the landing. They actually make this work here. My only complaint is, again, this song is so iconic that you really can't out Crazy Train, Crazy Train. But I applaud Weezer for trying. That being said, it is really fun. I think maybe once I get to know this song, it's not going to outdo Crazy Train, but the guitar solo kind of rips into my skull, and my foot starts pounding on the floor, and holy crap. Somebody slap Pat Wilson on drums, because this song is going off the rails on a crazy train. I thought they were lying, guys. I thought Weezer were pulling a Black Album on us. I thought that they weren't going to go heavy. I thought they were going to kind of stick with their pop rock sound. And there's just going to be this focus, this general back to the guitar-oriented rock and roll of days gone by, of Weezer yore. I thought, no way are they going to go back to Blue Album sound. No way are they actually going to go heavy metal. Are you guys prepared for this? Did Weezer lie to us? Weezer have kept their words again, guys. On One More Hit, the least metal sounding title of the record, and there's some other kind of songs that don't go with the title later on the record. We'll get to that if you stick around. One More Hit. Oh my goodness. I heard earlier, people that were even earlier than me talking about how this was the worst song on the album. Weezer actually go full heavy metal on One More Hit. And I need one more hit of this song. I know for a fact that this will be my favorite song off this album, because I'm the weirdo that likes the songs that everybody else hates. I'm the weirdo that ranks unpopular albums ahead of, popular albums. And One More Hit is my kind of song. I've seen one other person over on Green Day Authority that really liked this one. Maybe it'll be an underground thing for only us hipster guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm not hipster. I like the popular stuff too. But I think, this one is one that maybe the hipsters will hate it, and the popular kids will hate it, and Anthony Fantano will hate it. But for the first time in Weezer's discography, Rivers' cursing does not seem forced. It doesn't seem like a joke. He seems genuinely enthralled in his anger and his passion. And I just haven't heard this from Weezer. It's the S word, guys. If you want to know, Rivers drops the S word, and he really means it. Poop! The heaviest poop! I gotta tell you, like, seriously, Weezer have gone heavy metal on this one. Now, the ending of the album is something we haven't heard much from either. And I just got to pull out my guitar for one more hit. Did I get that right? They went full Crazy Train. They went full heavy metal. Wow, unbelievable. The rest of the album, like I was saying, we get a bunch of new songs here to talk about. Sheila Can Do It. You normie Weezer fans take notice. This is straight up Blue Album bliss. I'm not kidding. They actually landed it this time back in Blue Album territory, and they freaking killed it. There's no F words on Van Weezer. There's some S words, but oh my goodness, Sheila did it. Wow. The next song on the album is currently my least favorite after initial listens, but it's still very strong. She Needs Me. This one starts out slower, but cranks the flying V's up to 11 pretty darn quick before I can start weeping along with Weezer's Rivers' sad, mopey lyrics. We get happy again. It's the weakest song on the album, and it's blistering. And now, I've really been just banging my head, shredding the shred with this album. But my concerns with the, I just opened my disc tray with my knee. My concerns about the lack of variety are still hanging in the air on track 9. And then we get to track 10. And I think, the title is Precious Metal Girl. And it's an acoustic song. A very strong, it's a very, very powerful acoustic song. The lyrics are metal. In contrast to some of the other songs that are a little bit more lighthearted in lyric department, this one is heavy metal, and yet it's an acoustic track. A very, very smart move that only nerd bands, only nerds will get. People like me, people like Rivers and Dexter Holland, even though I did not finish my college degree in journalism. This album is a very quick listen, and you will very quickly find what you came to get out of this album. You will very quickly get what Weezer have promised us, a return to Blue Album era levels of rock and roll from Weezer, with a lot of heavy metal guitar riffs, and they've really kept the ball rolling after OK Human was just such a surprise. Very rarely have I heard an album of this kind of immediacy. And it's very, very nice to see Weezer finally delivering exactly what they promised on a project. There was no bait and switch. There was no telling us it was going to be dark and metal and it being kind of weird and poppy. This was exactly what Rivers promised us, and this is exactly what we got. That didn't make sense. People, I know. You don't have to, you can leave that comment after you subscribe. Like I said, this album makes me want to go out and buy a Flying V guitar right now. And I've never liked Flying Vs. I'm more of a Telecaster guy, right? I'm not even really much of a Strat kind of guy, if we're being honest. I'm a Tele guy. And, what else? Juniors, Les Paul and Gibson Juniors, that kind of guitar guy. But yeah, now this album is so good that it has made me a Flying V guy now. I'm only going to make metal now and no more pop punk. So yeah, there's a lot of really great things here, and there's not much to complain about. Like I said, there's maybe 1 weak track with 9 highlights. Like I said, even the what was it? Let's see, She Needs Me was the weakest track, and it's blistering. So, what did I rate it? Were there things about it that I didn't like? No. I'm going to give Van Weezer an early 5 Flying V guitars out of 5 Flying V guitars. That's right, folks. A 5 out of 5. I think this is a first on the channel. Oh, it could be. I don't know. We'll just say that to get more views. It's a first on the channel. Weezer have now overtaken the Offspring in my list. Let the Bad Times roll. Let the Offspring go up a little bit. But they're not going to put out another album for like 25 years. And Weezer are on the rise. Weezer are going to put out 37,000 records this year. Spring, summer, winter, fall, every color of the rainbow. They're going to invent some colors to release some self-titled albums. You know what I'm saying? We got Seasons. We got OK Human. We got Van Weezer. We got all kinds of stuff. All kinds of stuff coming out of the Weezer camp. And OK Human and Van Weezer are perfect darn records. I'm going to go listen to Van Weezer now. And yes, I'm going to go buy it on compact disc and vinyl, probably. I don't know. I'm not on a vinyl kick right now. But yeah, I would say go check out Van Weezer legally on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, whatever you use. There's 1,000 of them. It's really, really good, and I think it's made me happy, and I'm kind of a weird, unusual person. If you want to see how weird and unusual I am, you can see my ranking the albums videos, and I like it, and I think that fans that have been dissatisfied with Weezer since the 90s, I think that you guys will be happy with it. And I think that fans that have been generally happy with Weezer overall, with maybe a few bumps in the road, I think you'll be happy with it. And, the guys that just love everything Weezer's ever done, again, there's elements of Blue Album, there's elements of Red Album, I'd say maybe a little bit of Green, and I think, this is a really great album, and I think it's going to be a really fun to see these songs played in concert when we're able to. And, it was sort of inspired by them feeling a little bit uncomfortable, maybe in their own skin, going on the Hecka Mega Tour with Green Day and Fall Out Boy. I think maybe Weezer felt like they didn't fit in exactly right with Green Day and Fall Out Boy. And that's not correct. You know, they do. They fit right in with Green Day and Fall Out Boy. But I think they felt like they needed to make a record a little bit more like Green Day in some aspects, if maybe not just the guitar driven rock and roll. And they really delivered here. Really, really fun album. I really like it. Like I said, the bottom half of this record is really great. The top half is great too. And I cannot wait to get to know all these songs as I grow older with it. So if you're a Weezer fan, please subscribe. We're about to get into a Weezer era here on the channel. It's going to be like Weezer month to celebrate the release of Van Weezer. And the singles that are coming out, we're going to be doing maybe some top 10 songs. We're going to be discussing music videos and just keeping up with them and seeing what's happening with that Hecka Mega Tour. If you want to go to that, maybe we'll run into each other. I'm out here in the South, as you, maybe you can't, yeah, you can probably tell from my voice. I'm out here in the South, if you didn't know. So I usually, to go to shows, when that was a thing, I would have to go to North Carolina or Georgia, because unfortunately here in South Carolina, we get skipped over. We have one big venue that gets crap. It gets, now I'm not knocking other stuff, but we don't get rock acts here. We get country, which, you know, I like country music, and we get wrestling, which is not something that I've really kept up with in recent years. But everybody else is getting big rock shows, and we get like some country and pop acts and some wrestling. So for me to see a big concert, it's just not happening here in my town, and I'm in a pretty big town here. You know, a pretty big town. So anyway, Van Weezer's great. Go freaking listen to it. And subscribe to me. Okay, bye.